Mrs. Millionaires get the win 13-5 on the first map of this. Welcome back, everybody. We got to see the mistakes being fixed from the first match that Mrs. Millionaires played on this map just yesterday. It was a little rough for them. It went all the way to overtime, but for this one, it was a lot cleaner. It seems like they definitely had Teddy Tactics' number this time around, Bala.
That took so much momentum out of the sails there for Teddy Tactics after getting ecoed on that second round. And for me, I think a lot of the plans that you saw Teddy go for were decent. I mean, they went for a lot of mid-control on that defense. Sometimes it would work out with Arya getting a two-piece or something like that, but it would always get interrupted from the first kill coming out from MESOs. The op play was ripping them apart, and after that, there wasn't really good follow-up. Stuff would fall apart, and I think basically from that second round forward, that was the story over and over and over.
And as I was saying before, just because we got to see Mrs. Millionaires play this map yesterday, it seems like this time around they had much more control of what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And look,
my God.
One of the points that we wanted to talk about, it was the first kills, and I mean Wyatt, 15-3.
They had somewhat of an upper hand when it came to getting first kills, evidently.
Just a little bit.
That's what I'm seeing on the stat sheet. My eyes do not deceive me. My contacts, you know, my eyes are going to kind of dry with the contacts. There's the fan going above me, but I do think that says 15 for 3. So a bit of a significant advantage for MESOs. I mean, at the end of the day, for me too, with that comp, they're just more dynamic, more fluid. With the Teddy Tactics approach, they had some very, some cool ideas, set stuff they were going for, but it felt rigid compared to the fluidity of MESO's just standard comp, the information they're able to get, having the 0 point with the KO and the recon dart, the drone as well with Slandy on the Sova.
Yeah, I think when you play more standard agents, something that you're trying to work out, right? I think, Dan, you told me 3 different duelists on this map for Teddy in the past couple games. Yes. So like that sort of thing, it's tough when you don't have that comfort, right? You see Bunny B, for example, being extremely comfortable. I already mentioned the op, but that shows up even more when you look at the stats. I was wondering. I was like, dude, I don't think they're winning any of these opening duels. And there you go. That when you are rigid, like you're saying, Wyatt, those sorts of picks early just ruined every sort of idea. So that's a tough game if you're the IGL. If you're Arya in that game, she had very little ideas to work with after that. And yeah, that's a problem, but I hope it gets cleaned up in the future maps. That's what I was saying as well about Abyss for inexperienced teams, about new maps for inexperienced teams.
Yeah, and especially the new compositions, like you said, they haven't played the map as much, kind of same as everybody else, just a few times here and there, but they tried the Raze, they tried the Jet, now they're trying the Yoru, so kind of trying out different things, trying to find out what works, and this Yoru, once again, it was just not the answer. But Wyatt, there's something that we can tell about Teddy Tactics is if we see the vision, we see what they're trying to do, and you have a couple rounds to explain that for us.
Yeah, my hat is just clawing my leg, I can't focus. Yeah, these were just some of the rounds were unattacked. You could see what Teddy Tactics, what they were trying to go for, which was a lot of play towards B. You can see the Viper Wall on the minimap cutting off the site, trying to plant over for that cliff side, and then kind of focusing towards B main as well. And it just wasn't working in the post plant. So they were getting the smoke onto the spike, they were getting over there, they were sticking. The spam wasn't able to come through from the Teddy Tactics side. This was the first time that happened, and then there's another couple examples. Again, here's that wall, here's the teleport deep from Venus, trying to fight back, but then no one's watching the smoke. The cage was up, cutting off a sightline, so Slandy just walks out, gets a free kill, and then this retake comes in with some pace as the spike is going down. 0 point comes through, no utility, the swings up top together. Andy getting really deep there as well. Teddy Tactics, they had a plan on how they wanted to get into the site, but things got really tough when they tried to set back up for the actual post plant.
It's not easy to do for sure, and especially on this map, I feel like it's sometimes it's just what is going on for the post plan. But on the other side, though, for Mrs. Millionaires, they had what 7 out of 9 post plans that were successful. So we see a difference between the two. One as an attempt that is not successful, and the other one a Mrs. that is confident going on this match, Bala, and they know how to handle it. They know how to deal with those scenarios and how to resolve them.
Yeah, and I particularly on that A site. You saw a lot of post-plan situations where it was like 5v4, 4v4. Like they were playing for the retakes in those scenarios, and it worked out so many times. You saw in one of those rounds that why I was talking about. And that actually can carry over to the next maps and also put kind of a demon in the heads of Teddy. Like, man, we can dry walk all the way up here. We could use the util to execute, but what after that, right? And that's a tough part to learn as a team, is how to really set up those protocols in the late round as well. And wow, this is an awesome switch up. What the hell is this comp? Your ISO.
Yeah, Mesos, they've decided to mix things up after losing this map to YFP, only getting 4 rounds. This is Teddy Tactics' pick. It's a map that they like to go to, a map that they're good on, and it's possibly their last chance to actually get a map win this year in the main event of Game Changers. Try to get their first match win as well. This is must win for them.
Yeah, this might be a little overconfident, Dan. This is a wild comp to come out with. They were not playing this yesterday, right? Just to be clear, they were playing a very standard Breach Sova, Killjoy type of setup. No, this is wild.
It continues to be all of these teams changing composition from one day to the other, or from the qualifiers to now. But usually, I mean, we continue to see one day to another changing completely, right? It's not just a slide kind of, oh, you can change maybe the cipher for the Killjoy, like whatever. No, it's something a lot bigger. So I don't know how it's gonna play out. I do actually. We haven't seen the ISO just yet for the main event, so. I like the ISO. I feel like we talked about the veterans on this team too. Yeah, I feel like this is a good way to close out the day and get the win if that's where Messes is gonna take us. Let's find out though. And Los and the tier casters, it's Lemon Kiwi and Vance.
Absolute cinema that we're having in the lower bracket of Game Changers. It wouldn't be Game Changers if we weren't changing the game. Am I right? So
exactly.
And I'm surprised Habibti is not the one running the secondary duelist, because she used to be the secondary duelist or a duelist player for Mesos, and she's going to be taking over the Sentinel role so the Animal can go frag. I'm down for this.
Yeah, it's actually quite fun, especially that every single time you've always seen Animal play Cypher, KJ, Cypher, KJ, Cypher, KJ. Now it's time for them to just have fun with it at the same time. So why not? If not, you still have a scent that you could play after, and who knows, right? But for Teddy Tactics, they're going to have a lot on their plate to just try to adapt on the fly, because they haven't really changed anything in their composition. The thing that's good, at least, though, for Teddy Tactics is, despite the loss that they had against Shopify Rebellion yesterday, I think like a 13-2 scoreline on this map, they still had good ideas around what they were trying to do with this Astra. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. The action's already starting here with the Yoru. The outside composition from Meso's Millionaires gets depicted at the very beginning and gives a chance here for Teddy Tactics to kind of work that map, although they think they have a timing moving up towards C, but look at where Animal is at.
Yeah, for Mesos to just react on no information, like Bunny Bee just swung, but someone who could cut them off is Animal. What kind of damage can they do? I mean, the whole squad was high-fiving Animal there, so don't blame them. There's too many heads to shoot at. Aria finds another one, though, and Teddy Tactics to get C going after stretching all the way from A to the opposite side of the world. Mesos have to play for retake with only Habiti and Slandy.
This is where it's going to get fun here. Teddy Tactics, once again, potentially guaranteeing the first pistol round of the map, and will do so. It's a 4 versus 1. Not much here that Slanny could do, especially using a recon to watch the flank, so she's going to be full focus towards the front.
Will be the first offensive round for Teddy Tactics. I like what I'm seeing, and they take the pistol. And this is what it could have been with the early momentum they could have had on Abyss, but anti-eco went the way of Mesos.
Exactly.
I think it was Bunny Bee and friends getting pretty confident. Like these ego challenges, like running around the corner without paranoia or smokes, like A little off tempo
there-
for Mesos there.
There's still a possibility you're going to see the same thing because this is what activated the thrifty round for Meso's Millionaires on the second round was Bunny B playing with the Marshall on that second round and then just turning it around. So Bunny B is going to do the same thing on a Euro, which, by the way, it's not as much as an Orthodox comp. This is something that we've seen similarly from Fnatic and other teams trying to adapt it while they're playing a KJ instead of a Cypher. But still, the ideas around that are the same. You can get very aggressive around your Yoru. You can have faster rotates around your Yoru as well, and it's going to create a lot of ruckus on the attack side too.
Bunny B is just doing the passive run of Valorant. There we go. Good connection on oranges.
It starts with 1. Sorry, I don't know why I did
It
that.
goes to 2. I like that. You got pipes. Okay, with Teddy Tactics, don't got oranges. And that's kind of an important person you need to flash your way onto A or fall line onto A. And at least they got Arya lurking around B, currently smoked off. But at least has placed her own smoke, so she wanted to walk into that, but holding close is Teddy over at B. Teddy, meanwhile, are crossing to C, holding close as Animal, and Mesos are trying to stun, or surprise, I should say, Teddy Tactics. They're losing the gun battles.
Yeah, and potentially Teddy Tactics might be able to convert here their anti-eco, which would be great to continue on, especially now that the Marshall's down, so I like that. This is now the second time that Animal has great timing to be able to push up, but is kind of playing a role where, you know, she's playing ISO. She could pull up a shield, but a shield is just going to give her position away, so she has no choice but to just go shieldless and armorless and weaponless and try to fight against the opponents rotating across, so that's just unlucky there. But that's probably going to change, but you're now using 2 rounds where you might anticipate Animal pushing forward in these rifle rounds, and it's always going to get cleared.
No smokes for the defense to stop this A main watch from Teddy Tactics. And they still got a a Bulldog against a Marshall. Like,
oh, no.
Not halfway. Slandy just aiming through and couldn't do it. Penis too swifty with it. And Teddy Tactics with the anti-eco, but only able to bring the Bulldog over.
Yeah, I almost caster cursed that one. I thought it was a dead deal for Teddy Tactics on that post plan, so I was already getting ready to talk about good rounds and further rounds moving forward until that just happened right there. I mean, this was still, what, a 5 versus 3 on a pulse plant that it ended up having so much value of just buying a Marshall on your defensive side. And yeah, as you've mentioned, they're only going to bring over a Bulldog into their bonus round with the addition also of a Guardian, but that is going to be such a low buy on their bonus round against Meso's Millionaire's full buy here.
What kind of damage Teddy Tactics can do, what kind of streak they can create, and well, last round they got first blooded by Bunny B. They've adapted accordingly. First and second blood, and a lot of pings. Slandy says, I don't want that smoke, and the smoke has come to you. Venus made their way through sewers. And with this one-way smoke in place, Teddy Tactics, step 2, plant the spike.
Man, step 3, convert the round. I think this is ended up being a great bonus round after all, thanks to Cal Sushi's entry with the shares. That's now Vandals picked up for the buddies left behind over towards the A site. This might be, it should be a call for the last 2 players to retreat and save their weapons, because if not, you're kind of trolling at that point. You already see here BP rotating back, the lurk from Arya. I mean, maybe if they could take down Teddy Tactics, it'll be, or sorry, Teddy Tactics, just Teddy, period, would be good.
The Tactics is silent.
Well, the tactic to actually TP away to safety is actually quite huge as well. So Arya missed the mark here on the lurk to try to take down Teddy. They might be able to save these last 2 rifles after all.
And you denied any kind of ult orb from Venus, and then BP gets a second one, and just that much closer to the lockdown, which is always helpful, and Missiles could use all the help they can get, considering they haven't won a round yet, and what a great showing for Teddy Tactics. And from Qual, if you watch Qual 1, Teddy Tactics, and Qual 2, it's a roller coaster. Like, they brought out some really funny stuff in Qual 1, went back towards more standard comps, and Teddy Tactics, you know, similar results, but mastering the meta, I think, is better than almost overcooking. But they got a pretty strong coach over there with some strong ideas. I like it. But Teddy Tactics could see a map 3 just based on going back to the basics.
Yeah, strong coach and Ender as well. And I remember when he was like, yo, hear me out. Haven, Breach, Neon. This was before Neon buff as well. So he's still a precursor. He had a vision, and he still has the vision now. Maybe it didn't work out as planned and anticipated on Abyss, but going back to their tried and true on their strongest map, on their most comfortable map of Haven, despite a different composition coming out from MESO's Millionaires, they're still able to string at least a great 3 rounds, winning that bonus on such a low buy in their bonus to break the econ for MESO's this round here. Nice.
Oh, this Aldron is going to reveal the 2 in Bucky, and they don't know that Animal is. Oh, now they know that's committing the Sonic as well, and the Yorflow to try and get this ISO out of dodge, and Animal is holding down the door. But Neural Theft activated once Animal has been put down. Sad face. Teddy Tactics in a 2v1.
30 seconds left.
Teddy themselves revealed after the Neural Theft. Happy to readjust though towards Heaven, being as sneaky but as swift as they can, and they're right below. This is gonna be found out! The 1-2 punch! The Red Bull clutch!
Why didn't we just stick the plant? What was going on there? Was there an issue probably? I know there's been a moment where people have been tweeting out, I was like, hey, I'm trying to plant the spike, and I'm just getting off the plant every single time because they had definitely the time in the world to be able to get that plant there on that 2 versus 1 for Teddy Tactics. And unfortunately, the one angle they don't watch is the one that is their demise. A nice little peek towards the end from Teddy to win that one, and that could have been a string of rounds that continues to be quite good here for Teddy Tactics, who did fall off a trap of trying to take control of Sewers and so focused on trying to take down Sewers that they got shot from the rotate of MESOs. But this time around, working as a group, trying to take control of this A side. Buddy B has it off.
Oh, 1v1. No, Animal did pull the ult. they got the ult from that first blood and got overwhelmed. Teddy Tactics really know how to punish. There's always someone in a forward position at A long, whether it's Animal or Bunny B. Speaking of Bunny B, the op is quietly watching over A as Teddy Tactics go through Sewers. This time they don't have a Bucky. Cringy old Bucky to worry about. Teddy Tactics will be able to free roam, and catching the tail end of Slandy gets back to Heaven. Cosmic Divide from Teddy Tactics to close up the site. Nesses are around the corner though. Hunter's free from Slandy. Cause some disruption. Get Teddy Tactics moving, shifting, trying to hear what's up. The Cosmic Divide. It's a little bit awkward as Mrs. Millionaires have to commit across. Kalsushi with 3. Slandy in a 1v1. Who is the better Sofa? Slandy, their position is revealed. A little bit of a jiggle, and Kalsushi on top with 4.
I really don't know what the hell just happened there. I mean, they fought for A control, which was quite good, and Bunny B pushed down towards Source to get the pick, but then somehow they left Bunny B alone towards long and just forgot them the whole time for Teddy Tactics moving into the site. And there's a Cosmic Divide. They're trying to find a timing to get a not pick, and then suddenly Kalsushi comes out to get a 3K to just clear out the site from Sewers to just make sure that that spot that was forgotten by Bunny B's position ended up being cleaned up towards the end. And it was 2 rounds back-to-back here where it got a little bit messy, but you're a Teddy Tactics fan, you're going to take it. It's a 4-1 lead, and an eco for MESO's Millionaires, a hero bulldog for Teddy as they're trying to look for mid-control and just trying to surprise some opponents, which kind of did. They saw some opponents over on Teddy Tactics, but just couldn't punish with the shares that they had.
Right there.
Still a pro contract for Animal. I'm excited to see this. What, the first ISO ult of Game Changers? GC3? Animal, you gotta prove that you're the GOAT, and whoa. The damage being exchanged. Maybe Animal doesn't want to 1v1 this time. I was hyping it up a bit too much with the Sheriff. It would be quite the duel, and those are not good shots. But Teddy Tactics right there, ahead by 1 with the first blood, and
wait.
not even gonna commit to A.
Teddy just ran down. Never checked the corner of the C cubby. At least Habibti's there for some shots with the Sheriff. But yeah, this is you're stopping the bleeding for sure. What at least I'm liking from Teddy Tactics so far is that they are clean in these shots when it comes down to finally having the weaponry.
Left.
Great positioning, great crosshair placement, and really it's not giving a chance for Mrs. Millionaires to flood back into these awkward positions that might catch some players off guard. So MESO's Millionaires are going to have to start working with a little bit more synergy, but this synergy doesn't seem to be really there with the composition that they just brought out so far on this map of Haven.
really funny, cheeky strats out of MESO. Those first, like, Slandy being in the corner, Teddy running it down at C long, like... Sometimes over-relying on mechanics is a tough one.
Yeah.
Those definitely are a talented team, but at what point do you take a timeout and go, okay, let's stop trolling? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
This is a 5-1 lead. It's getting out of hand.
It should be okay here. I think, if anything, it has to be some sort of leadership within the team that says, okay, maybe we're over-peaking a little bit too much, or just not really dotting the I's, crossing the T's when we're setting up these retakes or these positions to support each other. So if that's okay and they add an extra body with the one that's pushing forward or something like that, then maybe it's going to bring some better results on how they're trying to hold their defensive side here from Mrs. Millionaires. But again, this is still a composition that's going to be very, very strong on the attack side. And when Teddy Tactics is winning 5-1 here on the attack side, it seems to be fairly the norm on a three-sided map like Haven. So it's not really Meso's Millionaires out of the count yet, but they definitely have to clean out that, that synergy on the defensive side.
Sight lines, jiggle peek. Ooh, Teddy. They got a paranoia, they got smokes, they got a rolling thunder from Teddy Tactics. Venus dashes in. Meso's nowhere to be found, playing for retakes, but on top of the box, Teddy could catch someone, and they do. First blood as the retake ensues from Meso's Millionaires, flooding back in off the paranoia from Teddy.
Wow.
And Teddy Tactics are left not much, if at all. And Meso's getting back in this game is great to see.
Yeah, nice little flawless round for Meso's Millionaires. This happened off camera, but as soon as they went for the Rolling Thunder for Teddy Tactics, you just waited for the right timing. Animal threw out the kill contract, won that 1v1 against Cal Sushi, which also doesn't allow for you to get Silva utility to really try to scan or play pulse plants or really trying to push players at bay while you're trying to move in behind a Rolling Thunder. And that really allowed here for Mrs. Millionaires to find that synergy, that coordination of flood back into the site, because they were very quick running into C as soon as Teddy Tactics were attempting that plant on that C site. So it took, again, a kill contract to initiate things. And now that they have a little bit less and they have an opportunity to play another retake capability with MVP on this lockdown capability on the Killjoy, then we'll see if that synergy continues.
Yeah, solo Killjoy at C. Teddy splitting their forces. Owl drones collide. Bumper cars. Bumper drones. And Teddy Tactics. At least the Sova's on the other side. Slaney's got 2 shock bolts to push them back if needed. Bunny Bee. Flash with the shield from the ISO. It's a good trade. Favor Meso's defense fighting back for a long. Teleporting back to safety. The Teddy Tactics seeing not being baited into shooting that shield.
That's what you wanted, the synergy. Pop in the shield, flash, double swing, making sure that your ISO's the one peeking up first, breaks the shield, they get a double kill, they get an assist on top of that, so Animal recharges and replenishes the shield. It's quite good. But they use a lot of util to slow things down here on that A side. There's really nothing left for Animal except the second vulnerability. And that's what happens.
Big exchange, now Oranges can get to the one if they wanted to use any util, but I mean, the job is basically done, and jeez! Arya, they're already dead. This round is already dead. We got a 3 versus 1, and Beepty just reacting off the information of Arya still maybe being in courtyard. Okay. That scared me too.
Back.
Okay. Now we're all barking at each other. Okay.
And now I don't think you're going to use this lockdown, though. There was a lot of time wasted. Habibti, they could buy into the next round, so pushing forward to try to make it a little bit more expensive for Teddy Tactics in the pulse plan at the very beginning. You are committing into this one to make it expensive.
Oh, and there's still Oranges up. Full util, the aftershock. It's such good delay, and Raven cleans it up. Speaking of Oranges, this is just such a better map for from them. This Breach is just their best agent by far. 72% of her last matches in the past 2 months have been on Breach. So this is an Oranges playground, and you're seeing just how comfortable they are to push a site, if they still have bodies left, behind Orange's setups.
And then that's what I was trying to say. Despite the loss that they had against Shopify Rebellion, they still had good ideas, at least on the defensive side. And I didn't have too much opportunities to watch them on the attack. You already see here from the pulse plant scenarios how they could leverage the aftershock to delay even more. So trying to continue what they did on the Abyss, really, to try to play these pulse plant holds. And Cal Sushi as a Sova seems to be the entry fragger so far for TD Tactics with the amount of first bloods they're getting, I like to think, on their attack side.
Exactly where you
And Neural Theft, and was that the op? Did Bunny B have an op too? Can't tell, but she died immediately with it, and TD Tactics don't care about recovering that. To up close and personal. Over at the A site, Animal found that out the hard way. The hug of death.
Yes.
Now Habibti and Teddy got ults 2v4. Do you believe in the dream? This would be a tough choice for them.
I do not believe in it. I mean, Teddy has a paranoia, but not going to use it, so it's going to get even harder. Especially with the crossbar setup.
Yeah, being able to conserve your ults for the next round is the right choice. But this lead is ever so increasing for Teddy Tactics. And the half is not even over yet, and the desk pointed out they have great ideas, just execution, just sometimes the fundamentals will fall through the cracks, especially on agents that they were not as comfortable on, like the Yoru, like a lot of the things that Teddy Tactics brought out, but Standard worked out better for them.
Yeah, we were just talking about it before we got into the second map with Bunny B joining this roster, and they're playing more comfort picks as we saw it on Abyss previously. You saw that the initiators were playing their initiator roles, the smokers were playing their smokers role, but now you have a switch where your sentinel is playing duelist and your Habibti initiator is playing sentinel, and it's kind of just all over the place right now on the defensive side. But again, attack side could be a different story.
Well, MESO's just slowly crawled up C long and did good enough damage. You know, for an eco, it's not the worst position for MESO's to be in. After seeing no one home at C, MESO's are trying to outrace Teddy Tactics and get a good read on where the site hit is going to happen. And with a Bucky, I don't mind Venus and friends wanting to hit B, but Habibti, pretty clean shots.
Not as clean on the lurk, unfortunately, though. That's going to now make Teddy Tactics think that they have A site control, but Slanty's just tucked in the corner, could get a surprise kill for players lurking up towards this A site. It's not even being pinged either.
Peeking it now, and unfortunately, she just got surrounded. And MESO's got smoked off as soon as they wanted to take advantage of this. And Venus still has a Bucky. You don't even need to use it. Habibti may just want to keep this Vandal, but any damage into the eco would be nice because Teddy Tactics are looking pretty rich.
Yeah. Again, there was an opportunity if it was a little bit too much of a hug the wall where you're scaling up here towards that A site that you may be able to get a kill, to get a kill from Hell. But right after that, when Slanty walks out, Fortune Graffiti's not checked. And that was that lurk entry that allowed here Venus to get that pick and to just calm things down a bit for Teddy Tactics to guarantee the round again, because they lost a couple of fights against Sheriffs when they were lurking and trying to find control towards B. Now gun run back out. Looks like we're going to be aggressive down towards the C side.
The Cosmic Divide is pretty early and pretty forward. MESO's leaders are being so aggressive. And it's paying off. At the back, Kalsushi could catch them with a backstab, but man, Teddy Tactics paving the way right back. With the spike now down towards A, and Kalsushi missing the timing on the backstab.
Yeah, but it was a Hunter's Fury from C from Slanty that actually gets that hit into the A link to drop that spike. Kalsushi maybe. Potentially will be able to get the backstab onto Teddy, but now it's being watched by Animal on top of this of Heaven. It's not going to happen. But that was a very interesting play there from MESO's Millionaires that kind of caught Teddy Tactics off guard. Usually you see this breach fault line going down with the Neon that they like to do, but instead of just running it down triple this time, and maybe not expecting an Omen to stick from the shadows, the TP back towards the attacker spawn and still win that fight. That just foils all the plans that you had to try to go for a quick pop off the cosmic divide that Arya is trying to pop, but they still have a lead by 5. They still have plenty of money to work with for the last round. And Kalsushi potentially might still want to save this Hunter's Fury to play against the lockdown that has yet to be used in his first half for Habibti for MESO's Millionaires.
You also obviously got to keep tally of the kill contracts from Animal. You have said signed off on 1. Now with the Vandal, could be signing off on 2. And Bunny Bee found. She likes to go for those aggressive pushes, but how does Arya go against Animal? The shield's down. Animal 2-0. Write that down. Write that down.
And that's the end.
That was clean still, and that's also the smoke's gone. So a great pick in terms of 2 players that were still under the radius of the kill contract. It's actually Arya that falls. That's a great pick by Animal.
Slandy's over in heaven. Habibti ready for the lockdown as soon as this plant happens, or could even do preventative measures. And here it is, the plant abandoned, I believe, and Oranges is stuck trying to dip, dive, and dodge. Kalsushi unloads with the Hunter's Fury. Push MESO's back. Oh yeah, the plant was successful. Oranges is just bunkering down. Now the paranoia hits them. They'll be sheltered behind the box. Kalsushi protects Sewers. Important 1v1. That Animal just snuffs them out. Now Teddy, they're just being ripped at all seams. MESO's retake just too good. They look at the defuse for an 8-4 half in favor of Teddy Tactics.
Animal continuing to, this time, finding great value off a kill contract, but also getting great flanks too. The winning that 1v1 against Kalsushi has been a superstar on the first half for Teddy Tactics. Was actually quite huge to really not allow Teddy Tactics to focus up on one single angle that they were trying to watch on the post plan. So they really got flooded back. I mean, look at that. Right after this kill, Oranges is still focused towards spawn. If they were able to get kills towards the spawn, there's still the backstab going up from Animal towards the end. So MESO's Millionaires did a good job salvaging these last few rounds. It looked very one-sided at the very first half. But now with 4 rounds on Pistol Round, you're playing double duelists again in a composition that looks fairly strong, that should be fairly strong on the attack side. I don't think Teddy Tactics is guaranteed their first map of the main event in Game Changers yet.
Pretty important pistol round to see if MESO's can catch up. Looks like something like a full commit in mid, using the turret just to draw out some shots, get information. Even how many people were going to shoot at that turret, but just one. Raj, unwatched.
Cutting through.
Because it's only Arya at the C site. Clone sent, or not a clone, but a TP sent it from MESO's as they're going to patrol all the way to the back spawn, not seeing anyone. It's surprising. They may not even think someone's at the C site at all. MESO's with a sense of comfort, especially off of the first blood. The frenzy ain't going to do it. There is the finish from Slandy, and MESO's fully take over C.
You see what I mean in terms of how disruptive this could be by playing this Yoru and this ISO. You throw a shield towards the sewers, you throw a decoy from the Yoru on top of that, and it pulled the full rotate of Teddy Tactics towards the A side. And look at all these positions that they have. There's no opportunities for Teddy Tactics to really rotate across because every single angle has somebody just hit around the corner from inching from B to the link to C to garage. It's so difficult for you to play the retake with no info. That was a great pistol run by MESO's Millionaires.
They got to scale the map however they wanted. I don't blame them. And they had numbers, so yeah, when the frenzy, with Slandy even coming up, I'm like, I'm here, guys. Let's see.
Big shots.
Teddy is fluffy, but also Teddy is scary as she gets going.
Keep it cool.
Now messes with a very convincing pistol. Go to the anti-eco with a bunch of bulldogs. This would really help them catch up in the score, but they don't want to underestimate Teddy, and they don't want to underestimate what is at the C site. They have no info, no vision. Messos. No teleport set up at the back. The ISO, of course. The Yoru clone flashes up the defense, and Messos take care of business.
You just want to be reactionary too when you hear the push coming up, and it's once again decoy with a shield being the entry point, and it's just not going to allow for you to get the best stack as possible. And the idea was there. I think it was Kalsushi with the Sheriff in the first place that would have initiated Oranges with the fault line down towards the corner. But when you break that Yoru flash and it blinds you, that triple swing in the end becomes fully canceled by this right here. There's just so many bodies to trade across. Yeah. They tried. They had the grab well too to add on top of that, but you shoot a decoy and a person with a shield, then that unlucky. Unlucky, really.
Well, MESO's addressed that well from front to back.
Standing ahead.
That Teddy Tactics, that what 5-round lead that they had at some point is slowly fading away, and it is still series point for MESO's Millionaires, no matter how this game started or what comp is in front of you. Now checking out Garage in the through decoy. After getting pinged, may have to think twice.
And that's the thing. You break that trip and you see it already. You have no choice for Raven but to fall back and play a little bit more passively towards the C link, right? So now this gives an opportunity here for players to pull these rotates across. But as I say that, it seems as though everybody's still really focused on trying to hit towards A, unless they want to try to throw another fake TP to gamble that there's going to be a fake hit towards the A site, towards Garage, and it still doesn't work, right? There's nobody in range to be able to call that. So everybody's going to stay calm here towards the A side for Teddy Tactics, but there's still great util coming out from MESO's Millionaires on the hit.
Yeah, there's a lot that ISO can push with, and as all the action is happening at Sewers, MESO's come out on top, have established themselves on the side, but Orange is still there, still has a flash, there's still something for this retake to work with. The Raven will be in heaven without a smoke, but no targets in sight. Raven at least is getting good information. Okay, they're probably in hell or on the other side of the box, and Raven opens things up for this retake. Gets MESO's focus maybe split. They're worried about what's above them. Habib the only worries about what's in front of them, though. It's a 2v2. Burning point for Teddy Tactics. The firing power from MESO's is just too good.
And that's just great discipline by Habibti. Just continuing to go for jiggle peeks and shots in the first place and just make sure that, yes, you lost your player towards the graffiti when Bunny B died, but it also made sure that you're pulling people outside, fully out in the open, and find the perfect timing for your second player to come through the Astra Smoke to set up the crossfire in the end. That was very clean for MESO's Millionaire. And as I said, they were trying to sell fakes towards this Garage, especially with the fake TP. Teddy Tactics did a great job not butting into that. But when it comes down to playing anchored positions where you are towards the A side, there's still too much util. The vulnerable coming out from Animal didn't give a chance here for the defenders to get the best position and the best fights in their favor inside A.
Just with the weaponry that we have, this could be MESO's Millionaires tying things up after dropping a 4-8 half. And Teddy is looking at something else and not the target in front of them, and that could have been a big pick for MESO's to work with. Now they have to do this without Bunny B. Thankfully, they still have Animal to open things up.
Might be looking at the radar moment, unfortunately, for Bunny B, which happened on the first half, too, when they were looking down towards long A and thought that it was going to be an easy shot in that cubby and didn't get it. But at least there's map control gain for MESO's.
Oh. Unfortunate for Arya being that close with the sniper, and MESO's. See, it has worked out for them. They're converging from all sides, but hiding in the smoke is Raven. 37 HP. Wanting vengeance for Teddy Tactics. Will at least go 1 for 1. As MESO's only have a 1-woman advantage on this post plant.
30 seconds left.
Sushi picking up a gun and pretty happy with how the round went, despite it being an L. Being able to keep this weapon would be nice.
And they're just going to try to pivot around and kill the last 2 players. But unfortunately here for Cal Sushi, there was still util on the first landing that cleared out towards Garage. And they're pushing out towards the spawn, so they definitely do know that it's A, Cal Sushi flanking, or B, saving the weapon. And they realize that it's the A option. Now Cal Sushi could just try to make this expensive. Wait a minute.
Concentrate.
Wait, Cal Sushi! Wait, that was kind of cool with the giant flank and then having enough time to defuse? You know, that was my bad, guys, with the caster curse saying MESO's were going to tie things up. That's a pretty nice clutch, though. That's a pretty nice clutch.
No. That was unfortunately a bad play by MESO's Millionaires on that 2 versus 1. I mean, the first jump peek, you knew they were there, and then Animal goes for the wide swing where there's no opportunity here for their teammates to really swing out to get the pick. And for the instant trade, there's no 3-2-1 swing. You really gave all your chances here for Cal Sushi, who I mentioned before, has been popping off on this map. And you're allowing to have them play 2 individual 1v1s to win that one. That is, you'll take that any day for Teddy Tactics. A freebie. Okay. She cleans it up, Animal, right after. That was a nice pick through the smoke.
What the heck?
But I was gonna say this is still the last round that just happened. Is a great opportunity for Teddy Tactics to take that overconfidence that MESO's Millionaires are currently bringing on this second map to get their first win in the Game Changers main event. I'm down for that.
Teddy Tactics got their first defensive win in that half off of a Red Bull clutch. So keep them coming. I've been thoroughly entertained. Teddy Tactics entertaining sewers right now, though, and slowly scaling their way up with Bunny B's lurk over at A, and hopefully not giving MESOs too much of a sense of safety without looking through sewers. From the shadows being popped here from Teddy and planting with Bunny B. But no eyes on sewers, and oh look, it's safe for me to walk up, right guys? There's people in spawn. What the heck?
Beautiful.
Teddy Tactics completely splitting the forces here of MESO's Millionaires. We're left with a 3v3.
Everybody's lurking. It's a team deathmatch. Battle towards the C-Link as well. Battle towards the A-Link, rather.
Fury, oh geez, Bunny B caught in the sight, and well, Habibti in a 1v2 couldn't do anything either, because Hunter's Fury from Slandy wasn't enough to disrupt, and now Cosmic Divide, you don't know what's going on except the defuse and the eventual L for MESO's Millionaires. Great retake out of Teddy Tactics.
Exactly. This is what I love. Yes, it was a great timing by Bunny B towards that A site to clear out the area. The TP comes across from the Omen to get the plant. But at the same time, the 2 players that pushed up towards the sewers didn't want to run back to say, oh my god, they're actually planning. Let's just go back and kill him. They just waited towards that spot because they knew rotates were going to happen back towards the area. But you saw whatever happened after. Everybody was such in different positions, and everybody was so focused still on their defaults that you had so many backstabs in the end. But it was still Teddy Tactics winning these fights and also fighting where it was weaker in the site towards the A site and just stick the defuse towards the end. So, again, being complacent for MESO's Millionaires, Teddy Tactics takes full advantage out of it. Now they have a chance here to even string an 11th round as you only have 2 rifles available here for MESO's on the attack.
Oh, yeah, getting stunned will do that to you. Goodbye to Animal. Out of their Cypher cage and back to the spawn room doors. MESO's had, I mean, the tie was within reach. A Red Bull clutch has given so much air in the sails of Teddy Tactics. We still have a defensive wall built until Habibti takes it out one by one, brick by brick with the lockdown to help MESO's get a safe plant going. Now they'll storm in with the spike, and playing forward is Habibti even out of the smoke. I like that.
Like I've seen this before already yesterday too, but that lockdown was a little bit early, and with Habibti pushing forward, there was an opportunity to get a timing to get the backstab, but now the alarm bot's got to be able to spot Arya, unless they throw a smoke down.
Ooh, brain move, brain move.
Oh,
Oh, she's a knower for sure. Oh, she's an aimer too. Jeez. Okay, Arya's on the flank. Not a lot of time to defuse though. Shock Bolt was probably meant to bounce that one. Kalasushi still gets a W over Habibti. A 1v3 for Teddy against the ones with tactics. It's defuse, getting Teddy Tactics up to 11.
And again, for Teddy Tactics, what's really nice on that side is that they're still really good in those protocols where there are good on immediate trades, where that kind of slipped a couple of rounds ago there by MESO's Millionaires. And I was going to mention that lockdown was actually very nice by Habibti, and the pick was very nice by Habibti as well, but it was very early as soon as he took control of that site, so you still have plenty of time with Teddy Tactics to actually engage and initiate on that late lurk from Arya for pulling that smoke up and winning that 1v1 to actually come in and take your time to move in as a group. So the communication was definitely there for Teddy Tactics to convert that round. 2 more rounds away now for Teddy Tactics to get their first map win.
Dimensional drift from Bunny B. Trying to at least give info who is on the site. Azaria under fire. Flash comes out from the Yoru, and MESOs want to make the most out of it, but with all the smokes from the Astra and of course the Cypher stuff, there's so much going on, and Raven finds a huge moment to anchor Teddy Tactics back on the C site with a spike down in main. MESOs are about to face match point unless Habibti could continue doing the Lord's work. Just got 2 kills, got 2 more to go to save MESOs from this mess, but Raven catches her.
That was such a big round by Raven. And again, when I talked about the ideas around Teddy Tactics on the defensive side, when they played against Shopify Rebellion, they play a lot of these Astra smokes and Cypher KJ inside the site so that they don't get flooded by the paranoias, by any type of big flashes that are coming through, and they can still play inside to try to delay and anchor up. And also, by smoking the way that they are, it gives a chance for people to rotate across on a C site to just fully run in and not be afraid of getting picked by any players aggressively pushing on the attack side behind the default spot because of these smokes. And they did that on the A side, rather, against Shopify Rebellion earlier on when they played against them yesterday, and that was a close shot that could have rang true there for Arya. But again, it's just talking about how good they are with this Cypher Astra util to anchor up these sides and to not be forced to always play retakes.
MESOs are going to want to challenge this up. I mean, they just heard it come out of Garage. They have the Owl drone. They've dealt with the Cypher trip. It's unsmoked. MESOs are demanding of Teddy Tactics' attention. Teddy Tactics are close to a lot of ults too, including a Rolling Thunder that could help them retake. It will require a kill, of course, and well, you would have liked to have your Jet in that situation. MESOs ahead, and Abibti is way deep in the woods too, all the way behind Teddy Tactics, but will she be able to backstab them? The spike has been planted, and it's kind of just a death match. A lot of isolated duels for someone like Animal. Raven will creep up and settle that right down, but the number advantage is huge for MESO's Millionaires.
Which is why they can't use the hat. They're set at disadvantage on a 2 versus 4. Offshot misses again. Raven at least gets that pick.
Up, don't you? Maybe it doesn't kill things. There's something wrong with this op. It's kind of like D&D dice. You change them out if they don't work for you, and gotta go for a different skin. Someone else buy it. Give me your op. There you go. No, I don't want it.
And the thing is that MESO Millionaires are actually keeping that up on the attack side too, and that's not gonna allow for you to do that type of entry that or execution that we're doing with that double duelist in the first place, right? By pulling up the shield, the Euro moving forward, you're kind of keeping your Euro a little bit more back to try to get to a peak, or a pick rather. So I'm expecting this round to be a little bit more slow on their attack side. But for Teddy Tactics losing a round like that, yes, they're on an eco, but they still have 4 chances to win this, right? It's not too bad for them to lose that previous round the way that they did.
Big risk for Teddy Tactics on a low buy, rolling it down C, and then the Owl drone, and then the op punishes them, and be a free rifle there for Teddy Tactics. They're thinking about it.
Oh my god.
They are scaling up. And Oranges and friends are making their way through the offensive spawn, and MESO's panicking because this is still match point for Teddy Tactics. 3v2.
And Rolling Thunder. Yeah. So far, these picks, Raven's been activated last few rounds and have been the biggest kills right now to potentially close the map.
Oh, you made the most out of that Rolling Thunder, making your way at the back. Teddy Tactics in full control, just funny with an op, bouncing away to a map 3. Big comeback for Teddy Tactics.
That was actually insane. Again, I thought this was going to be a throwaway round with how Bunny B got that first pick onto Arya, just running down towards that long C. But Raven just popping off the way that they did in the last few rounds. Neural Theft back and forth, anchoring towards sites to support the team with the cages, and also getting those picks and the Neural Theft to guarantee the round for Teddy Tactics and the map victory. Their first one for the main event. Everybody's got to rejoice about that.
Yeah, and the Cal Sushi Red Bull Clutch, they went 4-1 after that, as in 4-1 rounds. What a big swing for Teddy Tactics, for the morale as well. When, I mean, an 8-4 half is not too shabby either, but MESO's Millionaires, can they close it out, go back to their standard stuff, or what else do they got cooked up? Find out after the break.
You